Hello everybody. So I got my new package from Leaf and Clay. I consider this kind of a challenge package, and that is how I kind of framed it in my head. They give you the ability to be notified when a plant that you want is back in stock. And so it notified me that one of the plants that I wanted was back in stock, and when I saw it, I remembered this is a plant that didn't make it originally. It's one of my absolute favorites, but I don't know if it was me, if it was the plant, but it didn't make it. And then was paging through their catalog, and I noticed there's other plants in there that I would consider wish lists that also didn't make it in the past. So a lot of these I had before, and so I thought that I would take this opportunity to buy them again and see if I can make them survive this time. And because now I have this channel, I can bring you guys on this journey together, and we can see what my end results are. So what I'm going to do is, the box is already open. I'm going to take them out one at a time. I'm going to talk about what each one is and show them to you and make some decisions. So I'm still learning framing and all of that, so I'm not sure how my framing will be. I'm trying very hard to do this correctly. So I'm going to open this plant. They do wrap these nicely in tissue paper with some tape. I'm just going to clip the tape and unwrap the item. Pardon the noise, the garbage truck is outside. So this one looks like, this looks like the Echeveria Malaco. I had an Echeveria Malaco in the past, and because of the type of leaf structure this has, this plant didn't make it for me. It got powdery mildew really badly and just didn't survive. So I thought I would try it again. I think these are one of the prettier plants, but what you'll see is it doesn't have any farina on it. It doesn't have its own wax coating, and I think those are the types of plants that are more susceptible. So I got one of those. Not sure what this is. So we'll go through and then we'll compare, but I'm not entirely sure what this one is right now. So we'll set that one aside. This might be a chroma. I'm just not entirely sure. Oh, well, I guess if I read the tags, it would help. So the Malacca and the chroma, I guessed right. So that little one is a chroma. This one isn't particularly variegated right now, but if it does well under the lights, it will very often have some really pretty variegation that comes out. I may pop up some pictures of the prior ones that I had, but also this was prone to powdery mildew as well. So we'll see. Okay, so this is not bare root. Oh, this is one of the tiger jades. And I say one because I bought two. Oh, look how adorable they are. This was the plant that I had on the wish list that I wanted really badly. It's called a Crassula Axillus cooperi. It's called a tiger jade. These are so cute. It looks a little beat up. It's been through the mail. It may even have been through some states that were a little colder than is recommended. Hopefully it'll do well. We'll set that aside. Okay, it looks like there's two in here. So we have, oh, wow. Okay, so this, if I had to guess, is a vampire red ball. And yes, it's an Echeveria vampire red ball. In this light right now, it doesn't look very red, but it should, under my lights, it will darken up. I'm perfectly sure of that. Oh, how adorable. I really like it when they're bare root. I'm one of those people who likes to repot my plants almost immediately, and this gives you an idea of what your root ball looks like, what size pot you're going to need, and things like that. This is a Crassula orbicularis, and this is a big one. The last one I had that didn't make it was small, and I don't know what I did to it. I mean, let's be honest. I like how it pops out the babies on these little strings. The baby's a little beat up. Looks like maybe, cold damage or whatnot. But hopefully if the plant itself perks up and does well, we'll have lots of little babies poking out all over the place. Oh, I'm so excited. This feels like it's in a pot, so it's probably another tiger jade. Normally this company will have bare root, but if the root structure is very delicate, they'll give it to you in a pot. So that's why the tiger jades are in a pot. Yeah, it's another tiger jade. And I bought 2 of these because I think they're adorable. And I lost the other one, and I thought that I would kind of hedge my bets a little bit by buying 2. And, you know, if they don't all survive, you know, because I just don't know what I'm doing, then hopefully at least one of them will. So very exciting. We've got 2 more packages. Okay, this is... Okay. I have another Echeveria Chroma. Oh, this one's very red, very cute. I can't wait for it to develop the variegation. That'll be exciting. So that's the one. And there's the other. So they look pretty similar. Not too exciting right now, but I also bought 2 of those because I had at least 2 others in the past, and they were going pretty well until they developed the powdery mildew. So I wanted to once again hedge my bets a little bit. This is a Phomatium, which is a hybrid of a Stomatium and a Foucaria. And this is, oh, so beautiful. I had one and I loved it so much, but honestly, I think I might have rotted the roots and it didn't survive. So be more careful with this. I don't do great with Foucaria for some reason. Maybe they're just really prone to root rot, or maybe I'm just really, I didn't know what I was doing. So we'll give this a try. This is a gorgeous specimen. It's small, but it's, oh my God, the sun stressing on this. This is just so beautiful. Okay. We'll set the tags aside with it. I know what everything is. I don't really need the tags, but well, why not for now? And then the last thing is something that I've never had before. And I know that's what's in here because I didn't see it yet. So I didn't have one of these before, and I guess the challenge for this is that I don't have any idea how to take care of it. Oh my God, it looks so beat up. Oh, okay. It's a silver squill. Don't have any clue how to take care of it. I thought it was going to be a little less delicate than it is. I don't know if I've actually ever seen one. Oh, it's cute. Okay, well, we'll see. Everything that I've seen has very small roots, so I'm going to get together a bunch of really small pots. Oh, I think that might be there's a tag in here. So I'm going to get the pots together and I'll pot them up. I think what I'm going to do with each of these is do something slightly different. So one of the things that I've come to understand with Echeveria is that they like gritty, but they also like airy. So I'm going to use my gritty mix, and I'm going to mix in some cocoa coir and some perlite as well, which will give it an airier mix that will not hold too much moisture. And all of these are going in small pots. We got bunches of very tiny root systems, so my 2.5 inch pots are going to be good enough until they establish, if they survive and establish, and then we'll kind of go from there. I'm thinking that these I might leave in the pot that they're in for a while, because I think repotting them was maybe a mistake that I made, and they'll stay in these nursery pots for a little bit. And then over time, we'll see how they do. Honestly, I don't have a lot of hope for them. I mean, I love them and I want them to survive, and that's why I bought 2. But I just don't, I don't have a lot of hope. And I find sometimes that not having a lot of hope sounds like an awful thing, but it's really not, because not all of these are going to live. Not all of these are going to do well. You know what I mean. Okay. So this is the Vampire Red Ball, and it's teeny tiny sets of roots. This is my Fomatium. And his teeny tiny sets of really dried out roots. Oh, this is the silver squill. This is an Echeveria malaco. This is one of the chroma. And this is a Crassula orbicularis. Oh, I hope this does well. This is so different and so pretty. Okay. They're all in pretty good shape. Shipping does beat them up a little bit. Okay, so we've got some pots partially filled. You'll see sometimes that you'll have like barely any roots on some of these. Now, when you put that in the pot, it looks like, well, it's way too big for that pot. But in fact, it's really not. I want to just be careful when I fill it so that I can get around it. I tend to top water, so I want to be able to get around the leaves. But I want to give them something to sit into. I don't have to worry about covering them so much as giving them a way to get into the soil. And then, you know, I got my little plant in a pot. Now, because everything is so dry today, I am going to water it, and I'm going to place it on my Haworthia shelf, because that's the shelf that has the most space. And that shelf will kind of act as a quarantine space. I hope that that's good enough. In general, Haworthia seem rather resistant to diseases and pests, and that hopefully, I mean, I don't see any. These are really clean. The most that they've got is a little bit of dirt on them. I don't see any pests to the naked eye. So that one has space. And let me try to make sure the roots are well covered. Because of how small all of this is, they probably won't use any top dressing to begin with. And they may not spend forever in these pots. Or, I mean, they may not survive, and, you know, this may be the last home they ever have. See how dry these roots are, you know. Okay. I mean, it's really as simple as that. When you soak the rocks and everything, that the roots will eventually reach down into the substrate. Hopefully there's enough rocks, there's enough of everything that it needs to want to reach down into the substrate. I'm going to put the Orbi in. I call it an Orbi. It's got a little bit of, you know, damage on the bottom. Now's a good enough time to kind of clean that up. Although I'd have to say most of these plants are very, very clean and very, very good looking. A little bit of, you know, damage from the shipping, but it's the bottom leaves, and they should recover nicely. So we're going to go ahead and put my mixture in. I kind of fill it up to the top. Make a little hole for the roots, and plunk them down in there. I think one of the reasons that this one was hard for me to take care of when I had smaller ones is because of how close it is to the substrate. I think I ended up rotting it in some ways, but it's just such a beauty. I've already got some in the bottom here. We're going to throw the silver squill in. Try to get the roots all nice and covered. Like I said, I've never had one of these before. I have no idea how to take care of it. I have no idea what's going to happen. And so this is really kind of exciting. This is the only one I've never had before. And we're going to treat it like the other succulents and hope that that's what it wants. Got these other two pots, and these are going to be for the chroma. We've got a larger set of roots on the bottom of here. Oh, and we've even got a little baby hiding under there. So we want to be careful. It's not, you don't have to be that careful, but I'll go ahead and get that all. So there's that plant. And we'll have to just kind of see what the roots look like on this one. Do I have any dead leaves? I've just got the one. I'll go ahead and put that over there, and we'll fill in around the plant. The other thing I might do with these plants is, because I've had such variable luck with them, is I might not put them on a schedule right away. I might check and see how much they need. Most of what I bought were Echeveria, and they have a tendency to not like a lot of water, and I think these don't either. Like, I think that I want them to want more water than they actually do, and that's why I have such bad luck. So maybe I'll just be really mindful of how much water these guys get up front, and then increase it if I have to, rather than giving them a lot and decreasing it if I have to, which is usually my MO. People say that if you like to water your plants a lot, you might have a really nurturing nature. And so I'm going to try to be a little bit more neglectful because of the nature of Echeveria and the fact that they kind of like to dry out. They like the soak and dry method, and they can take being drier for a lot longer than you expect. So if you find something that works for you, more power to you. And I have some hope for these and not necessarily a lot for these. To me, this looks like they're fully in coco coir, because that might be how that nursery handles their plants. We're going to leave it in this for a while till they at least look better. And then I might consider repotting them. And these are the only ones I'm going to do that with because they didn't come bare root. Okay, so apologies if I repeated myself at all. I'm going to go ahead and water these guys, and then I'm going to put them where they belong and give you a short flyover of that. Plants are in the spot where they're going to stay for a little while. I'm going to put them in my app so that I can catalog that I've received them, that they got their first watering today. I'll just keep an eye on them to see if I notice any changes. I'm hopeful that, the chroma will have some nice variegation coming out. I can already see on the edges that it looks like it wants to, because it's got some pink on the edges. And then we'll watch them, and I will update you in the future on what they look like. We can see what the changes were. I can tell you which ones have lived and which ones have not made it. And then that might help you with some recommendations for the future. The one difference that I did in the mix is that I added to my gritty mix a little bit extra coco coir, not a lot, and a generous scoop of perlite so that we have draining and we have airiness, because these are the type of Echeveria that don't have farina. And so I feel like they're a little less protected from the powdery mildew that I unfortunately have had with them in the past. And then I didn't repot the Tiger Jade. We left them in the nursery pots for now. I'm waiting to see if they perk up and what it looks like when they do perk up. Thank you all for joining. I will update you in the future, and I hope you tune in to see how this progresses. Bye.